See back-to-back years and what that's like, what that means, the importance of that.
Yeah, we walked into a situation here where the previous staff had really left a good structure, a good group of players, and I think we really took them under our wing, and our staff did a good job of teaching them a system and a culture, and they've really bought in and put everything into themselves these last couple years, and that's how hard work pays off. So it's really good to see them benefit from that.
What do you think it says about your team to have a schedule like you did this season and to still make it to the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough schedule, and we had a lot of seniors. We felt like we could get going right from the beginning. And then at the end of the year last year, we had a couple of injuries, and we had a couple of seniors that were out all spring, and they were going, okay, well, wow, can we change this around a little bit? And we decided to go with a structure where we just played one match a day, so they had a little bit less activity each day, so they could still really get after it. And I think they brought it every match, and we moved some people around, and that just showed the depth of our team and the resiliency of all of them. So it was definitely a team effort and not just something by our senior class, and so that was really cool to see.
Do you think that strength of schedule helps you guys now that it's tournament time?
Oh, for sure. I think when you consistently have to go in the gym and compete really hard every single day, then that pays off also, right? You get used to that, and you can't just go through the motions or walk through it. And it helps in practice too, because they know what they got to bring in practice every day. I think the Big 12 was really solid top to bottom this year, really, really solid. Getting 6 teams in said a lot. I think the coaches in our league really worked together to schedule well as well. And definitely preseason helped us prepare for Big 12 play, and I think Big 12 play has helped prepare us for the tournament.
How about last year's experience? How does that help you this year?
Well, I think it just gives you some confidence. I think once you're there, you get even hungrier to get back because you know what that feels like, and then you want more. So, last year, our first Monday of practice after making the tournament, we gave them a bracket, and we said, here's the bracket, it's cool, we're part of this thing. And this year we were like, you know what? we gave them a bracket that just had us and Wichita State, and that was it. And that's all that matters right now, and I think they understand that. It wasn't surprising to them that that's what they saw, that they get it, so it's good.
Do you feel less pressure right now knowing you had to win 2 of your last 3 to get in? You got all 3, and so you kind of already had that back against the wall mentality?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we just want to go out and play hard and do our best every single match, and I think we don't try to get too far ahead of ourselves. I think the harder part for us this year is, you always want more, and you look back on the season and you go, man, we take care of a couple that we could have been seeded potentially. And I think that we dealt more with trying to get over that as a team rather than anything else. Our players had the same thing that our staff had with that, So I don't think we ever felt a ton of pressure. I do think the players felt a lot of expectations, had a lot of expectations going into the season, and they definitely wanted to meet those expectations. So that was a part of our growth process that we definitely had to work through with them.
I know you're looking forward at what's happening this weekend, but did you get a chance to kind of enjoy the selection? I mean, back-to-back for the first time, and this is your alma mater.
Yeah. I think, I'm really most thankful for the fact that our players get to experience this. And we always say within our program, we want our players to leave here as confident, strong young women who feel like they can go out and conquer the world in whatever the area is, whether it's in business or a doctor or in volleyball, if they want to keep playing volleyball. I think this helps them with that when it comes to us getting to kind of celebrate together. We talked about this yesterday in our team meeting. The way our team interacted before the selection show was probably the coolest thing to watch. Because you could tell that they were very engaged with one another. They were excited but not anxious. But they were really enjoying their time together. And I think it was more of that before the show, even than after. That it was almost like they were not celebrating, but they just loved one another, And so it was cool for them to get to have that camaraderie all the time.
How cool is it for you?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I haven't. It's been surreal the whole last 2 years. I think it'll always be that way. I can't stop telling Chris Del Conte and Chancellor Lashini, all those guys. I can't stop telling them thank you ever for giving me the opportunity to come here and live out a dream. And so we still have so much more we can accomplish, and I think it's a great ride to be on, really. And again, trying not to get too far ahead of ourselves and just enjoying every moment of it and enjoying these players and enjoying our staff and everyone we get to work with. I get to do it every day, and I think part of it is like the whole making the tournament thing. I don't know. This is just like a cycle, like even in a few weeks when the season ends, you're talking to your players the next day about next year, so it's, I don't know. I don't know when I'll celebrate. I just quite haven't yet, so I don't know.
Going back on the growth in the middle of the season, you guys lost 6 games, but then you were able to bounce back and make it. How was the team able to bounce back from losing all those games and to qualify?
That's a great question, and it was difficult. It was a trying time for our team. It tested our culture a lot, and like I said, it's really important to us. Our value system is very, very important to us, and I think when you're going through your toughest times, that's when that's tested the most. And so we grew a lot during that time and have come out a stronger team because of it. I think our staff and our group of leaders and our underclass, it was a group effort of everyone trying all the time to just kind of work through this thing and have faith in our system and just trust the process of what we were going through, that we were going to come out on the better end of it. I think everybody came to the gym and worked hard every day through that. And like I said, I think you don't really know how tight your team is and how strong your culture is until it's truly tested. And I'm actually thankful for that time, because I think we were tested and our relationships grew stronger because of it. Our team grew stronger because of it.
Did you guys meet expectations this year?
I don't know if as a coach, if you ever meet expectations. So we always want more. Like, I can't think of anyone who's coaching competitively who doesn't want more. So do we want more? Yes. Am I thankful for what we have accomplished? Yes. And I'll be grateful and keep working hard as we move forward, for sure.
Did you tell yourself during conference season, this is about as tough as it'll get because of this league, even in postseason?
Yeah. No, I think we're prepared for tougher. Yeah. I think tournament time is a tough time. I think everybody wants to keep playing. Nobody wants the season to end. And I think we just stay focused on each single point and play our best in every moment, every point we've got, and that's our plan for Friday, for sure.
Talking about exceeding expectations, Natalie Gower came out and was able to make all Big 12 this year. What did she improve on or really grow from last year this year to make that selection?
Yeah, she did a great job blocking for us last year and did a great job. In our defensive system, what the middle blocker does is extremely important. So she's been really bought into that, as have the rest of our team members this whole year. And her blocking numbers were great. She knew that she had to improve the consistency of her offensive numbers to have a shot, because numbers matter, really. And she did that. She was consistent every day. She is a true student of the game. And by that, I mean, she got to a point where we didn't need to tell her what she needed to do. She paid enough attention to what she was doing. She knew what she needed to fix because she heard it from us so much. And so that's really cool to see, because if you got a player like that, and like these guys here going off to play the NFL, or our baseball players going and playing Major League. For us, for volleyball, they go on and play pro. And it feels kind of good when you know that some of your players could go on and play, and they know kind of, they gotta have a good feel for what they need to work on, while they're in practice even. She can for sure go back and watch video and say, oh wow, I need to approach a lot harder if I want to hit the ball harder, take a good swing. But she can even do that right now as she's working through practice. So it's really cool. She's made a lot of growth here in the last couple of years.
You talk about growth of players. Ashley Smith had a knee injury last year and then kind of had to learn a new position earlier this year.
Yeah.
What can you say about her?
Man, how she's stuck with this whole process has been huge. It's tough to watch a player go through that kind of thing, right? I don't know how long I've been coaching. It's over 10 years, but I don't know how long anymore. But I've never had a player have an injury like that. And so it was a little bit of a learning process for me as a coach too. And, you know, what's the best thing for her? How do we get her confidence back and not only her body back? And I think we as a staff had a ton of confidence in her. We've had a plan from her from the beginning that, I mean, let's be honest, you're taking your best guess as to what's going to work, how a body's going to respond. And we knew, and she knew, because we told her that we needed her out there on the court, and we didn't want her jumping a lot at the beginning because we needed her at the end of the season, we felt like, more than the beginning. And so she bought into that, and she did her best with that. And then as we got into her taking some attacks, you know, it wasn't easy. You know, when she first got into doing that, you got to play back-to-back days. That's hard. It's hard to do that. So we were trying to go every other day. And now that we hit tournament time, this was, you know, let's say we go in the right direction on Friday. She's going to be playing back-to-back days. So we have a plan going forward this week, mentally and physically for her, and how she's going to attack that. And she's done a great job of communicating with our staff about it, and again, trusting the process of this thing and doing what's best for the team. You know, so it's been cool to see.
What can you tell us about Wichita State?
Well coached. Chris Lamb has been there for a long time. We both come up from the club ranks. Okay, both started coaching youth, and he was in the collegiate game before me. He was actually recruiting some of my club players, and that's how I met him. So I've known him for a long time and have had a ton of respect for him. I mean, he was one of the college coaches that would talk to me about actual volleyball and not just the players he was recruiting. Like, we were talking volleyball a lot. He's a volleyball nut. He's way into numbers and all that. Like, he's really great, and definitely has his own system and does things that work with his player strengths. You know, so setter's pretty active. They do a lot of different things offensively. They'll mix up what their players are hitting and the tempos that they're hitting them, and I think they like to stay a little. Well, they want to keep you guessing. You know, they don't want to do things just simple and the same every time and say, hey, this is what we do. Stop us. They say, no, we're going to do a lot of different stuff. You know, so take your pick. You know, so yeah.
What made you think of showing the team only a one-game bracket this time around?
We just want to stay focused on this one match. This is the one we have is the one that's right in front of us, and none of the other teams matter. You know, so and they understand that. It's what we preach all the time. Is just you're only as good as your next match, right? So they get it. They get it.